and good morning everyone. So for today's video, I'm going to discuss the 25 rules of grammar subject-verb agreement. So the basic rule states that a singular verb while plural subject takes a plural verb. Let's proceed to the rule. So the rule number 1 is two singular subject connected by or nor require a singular verbs. For example, my aunt or my uncle is visiting the cattle farm today. So now let's proceed to rule number 2. Two singular subject connected by either or neither nor require a singular verb as in rule number 1. For example, neither poultry nor swine production is preferred by the close-fisted farmer. Now, let's proceed to rule number 3. When I is one of the two subjects connected by either or neither nor, put it second and follow it with a singular verb or with the base form of the verb. For example, neither she nor I am studying agriculture. Neither she nor I study agriculture. So now the rule number 4. When a singular subject is connected by or nor to the plural subject, put the plural subject last and use a plural verb. For example, the shovel or the dull bolos are found in the cabinet. Now, rule number 5. When a singular and plural subject are connected by either or neither nor, put the plural subject last and use the plural verb. For example, neither the volunteer nor the social workers are prepared for the community outreach. Rule number 6. As a general rule, use a plural verb with a two or more different subjects when they are connected by and. To show two different subjects in a sentence, each subject is usually introduced by an article or a possessive pronouns. For example, flora and fauna play in all significant role to human beings. Rule number 7. Subject joined by and mean a single idea, take a singular verb. For example, my sister and confidence shows great support in my endeavor as a future agriculturist. Rule number 8. If the subject and the verb in a sentence are interrupted with the interviewing phrase introduced by including along with, together with, as well as, besides, etc., the verb must still agree with the simple subject. For example, tree planting as well as tree planting embraces the act of environment production. Now, the rule number 9. Indefinite pronouns like each, everyone, everybody, someone, somebody, anyone, anybody, nobody, no one, something, either, neither, not one, and everything are singular and require singular verbs. Do not be misled by what follows up. For example, everyone in the class is very concerned about in vitro fertilization or IVP. Rule number 10. With words that indicate portion, percent, fraction, a part, majority, some, half, all, none, remainder, and so forth, look at the noun in your of phrase to determine whether to use a singular or plural verb. For example, 1/3 of the city joins the greening project of DNR. Rule number 11. When either and neither are subject without or nor, a singular verb is required even if they seem to be referring to more than one thing. For example, neither of them knows about the latest agriculturist issues and concerns. Rule number 12. The words here and there have generally been labeled as adverbs even though they are indicate place. Sentence beginning with here or there required verb depending on the number of nouns that come from them. For example, here come the horticulturists, Drew and Jane. Number 13. Units such as amount, size, time, quantities, or distance always requires a singular verb. For example, 15 pesos is a small amount for a kilo of sweet corn. Rule number 14. Sometimes the relative pronouns who, that, or which is the subject of a verb in the middle of the sentence. The pronouns who, that, and which become singular or plural according to the noun directly in front of them. So if that noun is singular verb, if it is plural, use the plural verb. For example, patron is the agriculturist who writes the rationate of the thesis. Rule number 15. Collective nouns like theme, staff, group, family, crowd, army, and etc. require a singular verb if the members are thought of as acting collectively, and plural if the members are thought of as acting separately. For example, the staff is the meeting for the fast approaching inauguration. Number 16. The expression "a number of" always requires a plural verb, while the expression "the number of" always requires a singular verb when used as a subject. For example, the number of foresters are planning to file a complaint. Rule number 17. Nouns that always come in pairs like scissors, sunglasses, shoes, tongues, sleeves, trouser, pliers, plants, share, or etc. are always plural and require plural verbs unless they are introduced by the expression a or the pair of. For example, the tongs I bought are usually used in our chemistry subject. Rule number 18. Nouns plural in form but singular in meaning, such as mathematics, economic, news, politic, etc. require singular verbs. For example, the news about him is not good for his images, just as ecological advocate. Rule number 19. In sentence with both positive and negative subject, the verb should agree with the positive subject. For example, it is the law enforcer, not the laws, that need to be changed. Number 20. Titles of books, movies, songs, etc. requires a singular verb. For example, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is the first Disney movie. Rule number 21. The pronouns you and I always require the base, plural form of the verb even in case where they refer to only one person. For example, Leslie, you have to submit your project proposal on time or else you will fail. Rule number 22. Adjective used as nouns are considered plural and thus requires a singular verb. For example, the learned are men of wisdom and principles. Rule number 23. The name of a firm or company, although a pairing plural requires a singular verb. For example, Universal Studies is showing the movie Firm Gully, The Last Rainforest next month. Rule number 24. For sentence following the invented order, the verb still agrees with the subject regardless of the number of the nouns that come before it. For example, beside me were the illegal logger and the dynamite fisher.